Yeah, if you're a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you're a fan of Invincible, if you're a fan of anime or any semi-anime like Justice League or Teen Titans or anything like that, you should definitely tune in to Iyanu, Child of Wonder. This show for me is like the next up and coming show. I think this could really hold the mantle for how Cartoon Network can be in the future. First 2 episodes came out a couple days ago, came out this past weekend. I had the privilege to watch it, and you know, it has a lot of potential. It's very exciting to see a show like this as someone that is, you know, black and a Nigerian myself. It's very exciting to see get debuted like this worldwide with Nigerian folklore. It's cool to see this like in person, and I'll get into that into a bit, but briefly let me just explain what the show is about. So for a brief overview of what the storyline is about, basically we have a little girl, her name is Yanu, and she has powers, and she's the only one in Yoruba land, which is like the place they live in, that has powers. And obviously it's something mystical, but at the same time is not something that's very common. She's looked down upon by the people from the Inners. The Inners are basically, if you watch Attack on Titan, if you know the walls, or the inner walls that they all stay in season 1, that's basically that. There's a level of status within people living in the Inners and people that live in the forest, like Yanu. And I guess I haven't only watched, like I said, I've only watched the first 2 episodes, so we didn't really start the journey yet. But you know, basically, the security of the Inners, they found out that Yanu has powers, and they want to capture her. And there's also like a little storyline going on within the Inners as well. There's a lot of corruption going on, like the rich are benefiting off whatever, but the citizens of the Inners, a lot of them are struggling to keep up with anything, like, you know, just poverty, not having enough food and resources to work, and a lot of people are dying. And I guess the people from the top don't really care about it too much. They're focusing more on capturing Yanu, which is crazy, because, you know, your people are dying. It's just, I don't know, it's insane to me. But yeah, it's a cool storyline. There's a cool story arc, you know, where you have Yanu, the main character. Obviously, it doesn't seem like we're going to be seeing Lori as much, but you know, we have her meeting with the other character with dreads. His name is B, and then there's another character that's also in and out of the story. I forget his name, Temi, I think. I don't remember. But I'm not here to really talk about the storyline of the show. Like I said, there's only 2 episodes I had to watch. There's a 3rd episode came out as well. I wasn't able to get to watch that one. You know, it's on Cartoon Network and HBO Max if you guys want to tune in. But I really want to talk about the kind of domino effect that this show can bring. Countless times I've seen tweets of people, or basically people comments, not even just tweets, comments of people constantly saying, "Oh, I wish there was a show with, you know, black mythological storylines. I wish there was a show with like mythological creatures and, you know, more fictionist things like Percy Jackson and stuff like that, but, you know, with black people." And I'm telling y'all right now, this show is the start of that. And the thing with Yano, it takes place in Africa, right? It's all the authors are all Nigerian. It's all written by majority Nigerian people. The author named Roya Okupe and Godwin Akpan. It's all Nigerian people, meaning the storylines that we're gonna get in this story are not gonna be based off racial injustices or something that happens in the hood or whatever, you know, because everybody's black. Not gonna be, oh, it's the white man's fault, and it's not gonna be the stereotypical storyline of black shows that we get here. You know, I do think it's very refreshing to see something like this. And the setting does help as well. You know, it's a show based in Africa, and you know, it's cool to learn about African mythological lore, because I just don't feel like we get enough representation with that. You know, there's only so much we can see with like graphic novels and books and stuff. I've learned of Yanu before. I've seen the show a couple years ago, or not the show, sorry, the graphic novel a couple years ago. But when I saw that they were making the show, I was like, let me just hold off to the graphic novel and let me just wait till the show drops and let me see how it is. And it's really good that we're getting a show like this, you know? It reminds me a lot of Avatar: The Last Airbender, specifically when Yanu goes into her wonder form. I don't know what they call it, but her wonder form is basically like whenever she summons like the wonder powers, and she can control like what the animals around her, the evil animals do around her. It reminds me of her of Aang going to the Avatar state. You could definitely tell there was a lot of inspiration from Avatar, a lot of inspiration from like general anime as well, just their mannerisms and stuff. and a black female character, a black child female character. We rarely see that in cartoons. I think the last show that I remember seeing that in is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. So yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting that we get to see a show like that, but we really need people to support it. We can all say, oh, this is so cool, this is so crazy, this is so great. And obviously, the show probably will have some critiques, but I don't want this to be a show where it's only one season with 12 episodes and then we don't hear from it ever again and it gets canceled. I think the show has enough of a basis where we can get a good following and a good support system. The only problem will be, will people actually support it? Now, it's not on Netflix, so it's not easily accessible to everyone. HBO is one of the more expensive streaming services, and not everybody has YouTube TV to watch it on the Cartoon Network. But if you can, by any means, just watching it and talking about it online, like the same way you do with every other anime you watch or any other show you watch, that could be really, really helpful. So please, guys, I'm asking, like, you know, I'm asking, y'all should support the show. It's a really good show. And you know, it's a different spin on my video. I don't really make videos like this, especially with content or like with shows or characters or anything like that. I usually do my research and talk about it, but I wanted to get this video out quickly as the hype is up. You gotta watch this show. It's really good, and I'm excited to see how it rolls out for the rest, you know, of the season. It gives me if you've ever watched like shows that are semi-anime, if you know what I mean, like shows like Ben 10, Boondocks, in the mid 2000s, late 2000s, where you could tell that the show was definitely inspired by anime. Like I said, Boondocks, Ben 10, Samurai Jack, Teen Titans, Marvel Mystery, Totally Spies, like shows like that. It gives me that vibe. It feels like I'm watching a show that would have came out in 2009. And it's not a bad thing. I'm saying that as a compliment because I think it's really well done. The colors are done really nice. I like the mesh. I like the way it looks. It's very contrasting, but it's still a very pleasing on the eye type of show. Like it looks good to watch, you know? The characters are very well designed and the voice acting is really good. I'm glad they got mainly Nigerian voice actors, or at least African voice actors from what I know. No disrespect to anyone else. No disrespect to nobody else that does voice acting, but like, you know, I watched Black Panther and some of the accents there were sounding a little crazy. I'm not gonna hold you. I know they were definitely trying to get that South African twang, but some of them were just sounding a little weird. But it's good that we got a lot of majority, you know, Nigerian voice actors and voice actresses. Yeah, so it gives that authentic feel. It is called Yoruba land. That's the name of the place that they live in, and that's in Nigeria. Like Yoruba, that's a mainly Nigerian state. You know, it's very good. It's very cool. It's cool that we're getting a show that talks about, you know, Nigerian folklore, Nigerian mythical folklore. You know, we don't really get stuff like that at all, especially like globalized, you know, let alone just like out and around. So it's very interesting to see how it's gonna fan out. Like I said, I hope y'all support it. You know, it looks like a really good show. If you have any comments down below about Yanu, let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Are you gonna keep on tuning in? What do you feel about the show? Let me know. My name is that guy Brian. Like I said, I don't usually make videos like this. It's kind of late right now. I usually have scripts, and I usually just read the scripts and, you know, make my comments within the scripts. But this is just completely bland. I don't even have like a timeline on what I'm talking about. I'm just literally brambling in my head, which is crazy. If you ever do YouTube, just don't do that. That's not smart at all. But I need to talk about this. Maybe later, depending on how well this video does and depending on how much I enjoy watching Yanu, I might do like a review of the show once it's completely over. I don't know yet. I might. But stay tuned for that. Like I said before, let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on Yanu. Do you like it? What do you feel about it? And if you have any recommendations on shows like this that I should tune into, because I definitely need some more. I need some recommendations. Let me know in the comments down below. I love y'all. This is that guy Bri. Peace.